The following program is rated MA and may contain themes that may not be appropriate for all viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hip-hop, trendsetters, the school of hard knocks and that attitude era. Yeah, I just wanted to be one of the best. Holding the mic as I'm yelling out D-Generation X. I will remember it. I'll never forget it. We come a pretty long way. There's so much I can say. It's never really gone away.
It is Monday night. We are looking at Nick Aldis walking into the arena where he is the SmackDown general manager, but tonight he's the Raw general manager.
He is, and it was something I had seen earlier in the day.
I think we just lost OMD. But Rhea Ripley and Roxanne Perez walking in the building right now. OMD is frozen on my screen, and he's got a quizzical look on his face. Bobby Stats coming in saying, hello, guys. How's it going, Bobby? Glad to have you here. Oh, Stephanie Vancouver versus Ivy Nile. That's going to be a hell of a match. Logan Paul's got an announcement to make tonight as well. Sorry, I've dropped my phone. Yeah, there goes OMD. Yeah, according to OMD, the comp crashed and restarted on its own. No, you're absolutely right about that. It is nice to see that Ivy Nile's going to be in action tonight. As I mentioned, she's going to be taking on Stephanie Vancouver. But what is going to be interesting is what we're seeing right now, as we were taking a look at last week here, where Paul Heyman, Seth Rollins, and Bron Breakker have joined forces. There's a lot of questions regarding this, and hopefully we get some of those answers tonight as all three men are set to appear. And I've got to wonder, are there more people involved? Becky Lynch is also scheduled to make an appearance and explain her actions for turning on one Lyra Valkyria last night. And I can guarantee it's because she wants a shot at Lyra's Intercontinental title. Also, probably pissed off that they lost the tag titles last week after winning them just the night before at Wrestlemania. Maybe we also get an explanation on who took out Bayley. What if that was, that could have been Becky as well. So we're looking at Roman. He pummeled everybody before Bron could even make the save and officially pledge his allegiance, as it were, to Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman. But this is a dangerous trio we've got here. And looks like we're getting started off right away with Mr. Seth Rollins. Is it just Seth coming out? Oh, no, it's Seth, Bron Breakker. Bron Breakker dressed up in a suit. That is interesting. And I guess the wacky outfits for Seth still continue. And the fans are still singing his theme, despite what he had done last week to Roman and Punk. And there's the Crash Man himself.
Yep, my computer, literally, I was saying something, and all of a sudden my computer says, you have experienced an error, we will fix it and shut down and restart for you.
Oh, you got the blue screen of death. This is so strange. Like, Seth Rollins clearly is supposed to be a heel, but crowd is still firmly behind him and everything he's doing right now.
He is, but he's almost in that, he's in that anti-hero stage, so to speak.
Yeah, but you don't become an anti-hero by taking out the two most beloved wrestlers in the WWE right now.
No, you don't.
Two of the three, I should say, because the third one being Cody.
Oh, I was going to put Jey Uso in there, too.
Okay, two of the four, then. Speaking of beloved wrestlers, this is going to be interesting with Sami Zayn making his way to the ring.
Yes, it will. This is very intriguing. We know that Sami and Seth have a colorful past.
So do Sami and Bron.
Yes, they do.
Their feud over the Intercontinental title that lasted all summer.
I do.
So Sammy and Seth are going to fight at Backlash. Just happened again. OMD crashed again. And right now we've got Robert Sprite coming in saying Cross is the man, highest paid wrestler, and a beautiful wife. He's also saying, Bobby Stats is saying he likes Braun Breaker with Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman. So Sammy's given some kind of an ultimatum here, and not really sure what to make of that. We're looking at the highlight of the night already. We're not even 20 minutes into the show. Oh, the highlight of last Monday night. The match between Stephanie Vacour and Io Sky, in which Julia and Roxanne Perez both made their presence felt. Bobby Stats, thank you very much for that like. And this is My Brutality as Rhea Ripley makes her way to the ring. She, of course, is getting set for a matchup against Roxanne Perez. Rhea Ripley looking like she's ready to go tonight. Bobby Stats is coming and saying that he's also interested to see if we get Julia on Raw tonight, just like we did last week on Raw. It's very possible, as anybody who is not paid for Netflix Premium, you guys have gone to commercial break. So right now, Rhea Ripley is just still making her entrance here. Of course, she's, like I said, she's got the match against Roxanne Perez right now. Yeah, Rhea Ripley playing up to the fans here. Just got a weather warning, okay? Just funny thing is, right now, I got a rain warning just now for my city when it's been raining all day. Figure that one out. And Miss Roxanne, excuse me, Miss Roxanne Perez is making her way to the ring during commercial. This is I don't know. This doesn't make much sense to me. I would have gone back from commercial to show Roxanne's entrance. And as we get ready to go back to action, I think Roxanne doing the smart thing there right at the start of the match, rolling out of the ring. Again, smart, just keeping throws her jacket there, and now down goes the knee. Gee, she went hard on that knee. We got David coming into the chat here saying, "Let's go, Roxanne Perez." You know what? I'm very interested in this matchup. This is a fresh match for Rhea Ripley. This is a fresh match for Roxanne Perez. It's a match we haven't seen between as far as these two women go. Just like we're going to get a match later on tonight, again involving the women that we haven't seen with Stephanie Vancouver and Ivy Nile. I like when we get these fresh feuds, these fresh matches. Still to come, Pat McAfee is going to address Gunther and the attack last week. Gunther is not in the building tonight. He has been suspended until further notice. Or we believe Gunther won't be in the building, is what I'm saying. Oh, jeez. Rhea Ripley just took Roxanne Perez's head off with that clothesline.
She did. Let's give this one more try, shall we?
But before you left, we all saw that Sami Zayn was given an ultimatum of sorts.
Yes.
Knowing Sami Zayn, Seth Rollins is going to be his opponent at Backlash. I'm calling that right now.
Oh, see, and I'm leaning more towards Braun Breaker at Backlash.
I'm going Seth Rollins. That's a fresh feud. That's something that I don't think has ever been done on pay-per-view.
No, it hasn't.
Or PLE events.
No, it has not. Thank you, Bobby. It is good to be back. Hopefully my computer doesn't crash again because I can't really afford to go and buy one at this time.
Dude, do what I'm going to be doing in a handful of weeks. If you need to get new one, go to Marnix. They sell them refurbished. I think OMD has crashed again. Yeah, OMD has definitely crashed yet again. But right now, hell of a match going on here. We're back at commercial break. OMD, I'm hoping you get your computer stuff fixed up. But yeah, this just trading blows back and forth between these two women right now. I am having a good day today. I'm a little exhausted, Bobby Stats, but all in all, it's been a good day.
All right, that was the Insta crash and restart.
Okay. You may want to run a virus scan on your computer just to be safe.
Yep.
I'm just saying that based off personal experience from about 2-3 years ago when I first joined with you guys. Remember all the blue screens I was getting?
Vaguely. Because I came after you did.
No, we came on the same day, dude. Because I remember that first episode of Raw, I came in, I'm like, oh, Dan's doing it. Sorry, broke kayfabe a little bit there.
Yeah, all good. But this has been one hell of an entertaining match so far.
Yeah, there's... I'm just sitting here gleefully watching this match because, as I was telling everybody, this is a fresh match for the two of them.
It is. As they alluded to, only one match ever between these two, and that was in NXT in 2022. So we are looking at 3 years past.
Yeah, and I definitely don't remember that because I was not watching NXT around that time.
right?
I don't know what it. Well, I actually do know it was. It was the pandemic. I was very. I was sour on a bit of what WWE was doing at that time. So my only way of getting myself entertained by the WWE at that time was catching up on storylines by watching clips of Raw, because I was just done with Raw.
Right.
Catching clips of NXT and catching clips of SmackDown, but watching the PLEs.
Right.
The only way that I kept my faith in wrestling was by watching classic WWF on the old WWE network.
Right. That was a vicious razor's edge there from Rhea.
Yeah. Now you see Rhea nursing that knee. I don't know if you saw it earlier, but she took a massively bad chop block to the knee.
I did. So, yeah, I'm going to run the virus scan tonight after the show. Hopefully, I don't encounter this issue again tonight. But I think I'm going to go talk to Staples tomorrow.
Well, before you crashed, I recommended going to Marnix. Cheaper computers that are refurbished, which refurbished, for those who don't know, means it's a used computer, but they cleaned everything out and it's like it's a brand new computer again.
Yep. Here we have Julia back at ringside.
Yeah, we had that tease with her and Rhea Ripley last week, and
Yep. Now, I did, on the locker room breakdown, I did call for Roxanne Perez to win this match.
just like she almost did just there.
Yep.
Oh, every time she does that little head scissor takeover, and I mean little because like every time I see it, her opponents are on their knees, and I'm like, holy Christ.
Right.
And sometimes I forget just how little Roxanne Perez is.
Right. And I mean, I've been a huge fan of her since she was Roxy in the original Ring of Honor.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Bulkster alluded to it on the locker room breakdown in one of the comments that last week both Roxanne and Julia were wearing their Raw debut patches.
Yes, they were. Like I said this last week. I think this is their call up. I also think it's Stephanie McCour's call up.
No, Stephanie apparently wasn't wearing the patch, so.
She also has a match later tonight.
Really?
Yeah. She's taking on Ivy Nile later tonight.
Intriguing.
Okay, Io Sky. Sometimes this is just a little bit of an issue I have with production. Sometimes they take too long cutting to the person who's making to the run in to save.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we got Julia's and Roxanne's reaction. Let's cut to who's making that run to the ring.
Yeah. No, I was sort of, I mean, that since you had just mentioned Stephanie was competing later on tonight, I was sort of anticipating, since she was involved in that situation from last week, that it would be her.
That's what I thought it was too, but I forgot. Io was also involved in that situation last week too. I mean, she was the one who had the match with Stephanie McCour before everything happened.
Yep.
But now we're probably going to see an uneasy alliance between Rhea and Io Sky. And I say uneasy because of, obviously, their history.
Yes. Is this going to be a women's tag team match for Backlash?
It's quite possible. And as right now we're looking at Judgment Day. Let's see what they've got to say.
Very, very interesting.
Yeah. Finn Balor once again expressing that he doesn't like to be undermined, that he doesn't like to be that
Kept
he
out
doesn't
of the
like to
loop.
be kept out of the loop. Then we get Finn and JD are going to be taking on the War Raiders, in which the winners are going to get a shot at the tag team titles.
I thought it sounded to me like it was a tag team title match.
Yeah, but the way JD worded that, he said we got a tag team title match against the War Raiders. The War Raiders are not the tag team champions.
True. Yeah, I keep forgetting that the New Day are.
Yeah.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because I believe that tag team title win was record-setting as well for the New Day at WrestleMania, correct?
I think so. I heard rumblings about it, but I'm not sure exactly what record that is. Because the New Day set so many records, right, as it is.
Right?
Oh, I love the heel that we're getting out of I'm not even listening to the promo right now, but obviously what we're seeing right now is A-Town Down Under with the Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl 49 championship belt. They're in Kansas City right now. Who did the Eagles beat? Kansas. That was still one of the I'm going to call it a big flop for Pat Mahomes in that game because the Eagles ran rampant over them in that game.
So next week, Grayson Waller in singles action, which has really rubbed Theory the wrong way.
Yeah, but the question is, who's Grayson taking on?
And now we get Logan Paul making his way to the ring.
Yeah, he's got some sort of an announcement he wants to make.
Now, and I posed this question earlier. Do we see AJ Styles come out to confront him wanting one more match, or do we get Karrion Kross coming out and calling him out? Or do we get Logan Paul maybe challenging Jey Uso?
See, I've been thinking about this too because, and as you mentioned that with AJ Styles, I'm like, Logan Paul hasn't had any rematches since his debut. It's all been like one and done matches essentially.
Yep.
So I think I don't think I'd be too opposed if AJ Styles showed up and said, "Hey, let's do it again." Okay, so this is a fact that's got a little bit of a asterisk to it. Said last weekend, 124,693 members of the WWE Universe attended WrestleMania, coming from all 50 states, 68 different countries. The 58 states, 68 different countries, that's true. The 124,000 number is not.
No.
Because again, as I've stated before, it wasn't 124,000 people in the crowd. It was 124,000 tickets sold. There's a difference there, WWE, and I expect you guys to know that difference. I love how fast Pat McAfee got up on the table as Jey Uso made his way to the ring.
Right?
You see him jump out of his seat and right up onto the table. Interesting that Jay's coming out through the crowd, or I mean through the aisleway, but at the same time kind of makes sense given what he's carrying with him right now.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that he called out Jay just as you had suspected.
That was sort of a long shot guess, but it also doesn't surprise me.
I mean, his last championship match was almost 3 years ago.
And Roman Reigns in Saudi Arabia.
Yep. His last heavyweight championship match, I should say, because he's had the U.S. title since then. I looked down for half a second to look at Pepper. What did Jay just jack him in the mouth?
Super kick.
Oh. A kick to the mouth is just as good as a punch to the mouth.
Because Logan Paul said you were going to crash out, screw up, and lose the title faster than you held the Intercontinental title.
Yeah, and obviously that line was definitely playing off of Jay's past controversies.
Yep.
Here come the War Raiders right now, and damn, do they look pissed off.
Yes, they do.
JD and Finn with Carlito at ringside, you may need a little bit more help than just Carlito boys.
Right. Correct me if I'm wrong, but was it not against the War Raiders that JD got hurt?
When you took that, I think so.
When we thought it was the concussion after he smacked after the whiplash we thought happened off of hitting the desk, but it was actually a punctured lung.
Yeah, because it was the way his back hit the friggin' table.
Yep. And ladies and gentlemen, we have the New Day, your World Tag Team Champions, coming out to sit ringside. Whether they're on commentary or not, who knows?
So here's something I'm kind of liking right now with the New Day.
Okay.
Xavier Woods changing up his look. I
Right.
like his look.
I do too. I
need Kofi to make some alterations on his look. His attitude is there, as is Xavier's. I'm starting to re-enjoy them as the heels again, because now they're this cocky, brash tag team as we're seeing right now.
Yep.
Xavier Woods is kind of leaning into his old Consequences Creed gimmick with the flash and glitz that he used to walk to the ring with under that gimmick.
Yep.
You know what I just kind of realized as I'm looking at Carlito? Give me 1 second.
I was going to say that he's wearing cargo shorts.
No, but
or capris.
I was going to say he kind of looks like he kind of looks like Coheed and Cambria's lead singer Claudio Sanchez. Do you see that?
I've honestly never seen a picture of Coheed and Cambria.
Oh, really?
I've heard of the name. I've never heard any of their stuff either. Okay, so we do have the New Day on commentary. As you alluded to Xavier Woods' hair, it's sort of, for me, I'm finding a cross between Mr. T and the Velveteen Dream.
I know he's had his troubles, but I wish Velveteen Dream did come back.
You and me both.
I always wanted something with him and Goldust.
Yeah, no, I can't remember what match it was way back when in NXT, but I had Patrick Velveteen Dream in the same aspect for selling as Sean and Dolph.
But not Perfect, because Perfect's on a whole other level.
That's right.
Because, not gonna lie, I do like the way Sean and Dolph have sold, but Perfect was just
absolutely perfect. You know, I'm actually really, really relieved tonight because I was sort of anticipating after Saturday that I would be forced to choose between Raw and Game 5 tonight, but Game 5 is tomorrow.
Soon enough, I've got to tune in on my phone for... Okay, so for everybody who's watching from the U.S., today's a major day in Canada because we have the federal election going on. So there's going to be a bit of a distraction come around 9:30 because I'm going to be switching my phone to turn the election on there.
I will find out tomorrow morning when I wake up.
I can't do that. I have to watch the entire thing until we've got a definitive answer. For the provincial election, didn't have to do much of that. I tuned in 10 minutes later. We found out who our premier was going to be.
Right.
And they still spent another 4 or 5 hours talking about it.
Yeah. No. And I know, ladies and gentlemen, it is getting close to that final ballot time. So if you are in Canada, get out and vote. Remember, Canada Raw is on Netflix, so you can come back to us at any time.
You can even watch it while you're at the voting station.
Exactly.
But right now, what we are watching is one hell of a tag team match.
Poor JD.
That's what I miss about watching JD. We were talking about guys who can sell pretty damn good. JD is one of them.
Yep.
Dude always sells like he's dead, and I love it.
Yep, 100%.
But you know what I would be okay with? As much as I do want to see the Raiders get back their tag titles, I think I would be okay with Finn and JD going after them as well. But I would need Finn and JD to kind of play the babyface, because if you're really trying to get the New Day off as this heel act, you got to keep them heel.
You do. What I wouldn't be surprised with is a triple threat match coming up at perhaps Backlash.
That was a smart move by Carlito. What he did was he pulled Finn. Finn had a hold of JD, so Carlito ended up pulling the both of them away as Ivar took a dive right into the ringside apron. As we go back to commercial break for anybody who's not paid for premium, but for those of us on premium, we still have action right now as Eric right now is warding off Carlito, as it were, and now he just turned and damn, just sent Flynn flying into the barricade.
Yep. So apparently we are not getting a run-in from Parrish tonight.
No, Parrish has got some other duties tonight that he's going to do tonight.
Understandable. Oh, well, we got him covered.
Oh, jeez.
It's been a long time since we've had a two-man Raw Patrol.
Oh. JD kind of stuffed him with that kick.
He did.
What games are going on tonight? I know that there was a few, and I remember there was one that I was interested in watching, but I can't remember which one it was now.
Tonight is Tampa and the Panthers, which is currently 2-1 for Tampa at the end of the second period, as I just checked. And then we have Colorado-Dallas coming up at 9:30.
You want to know something I found interesting after last night's games? Everybody on in the Western Conference, all the games were tied at 2. Every single one of them. In the Eastern Conference, all the games were 3-1.
Yep.
That was I thought that was interesting. At least.
Because Florida Tampa will be tied at 2 tonight if Tampa wins.
Let me see that here. Maybe I must have misread then. Um,
And yes, admittedly, I am hoping for Tampa to win tonight.
I don't want Tampa to win.
I don't want either team to win. I want that series to go to triple overtime in Game 7.
No, I need Tampa to be eliminated now, and I need Florida to be eliminated now. Recent champions can go screw off. I want new champ. I want people who haven't won a championship in a long, long time, or a new Stanley Cup holder.
Yeah. I will put the Colorado-Dallas game on my tablet here at 9:30, but
yeah, and that even means Colorado, and I love Colorado.
Yeah, no, Colorado is my number 2 team, so
they're my American team. My Canadian team will be the Canadians, obviously.
It's been 5 years for Colorado, 6. So
yeah, that's still too soon for me. It's got to be any team over 10 years since they've won for me, or 15, I should say.
I mean, it's funny because with the way the NHL playoffs are going,
we're getting those teams who haven't won the cup in a long time,
out of
for the most part, winning them.
Out of the 5 Canadian teams that made the playoffs, 4 of them can be out after the first round.
There's a part of me that wants Winnipeg, and I'm going to say this: I want Toronto to advance.
See, for me, obviously, I want Toronto to advance. I want Winnipeg to lose.
Giving you timeout for my hometown. But yeah, we're getting a fantastic tag team matchup here.
We are.
Yeah. Winnipeg's one of my hometowns, so like there's a bit of a vibe there for me with them, you know.
Well, as we do all of our,
close
NHL comparisons, and I mean, Toronto and Edmonton are very much the same. Winnipeg is probably the most balanced out of those 3 teams, and yet their goalie finds a way to fumble in the playoffs.
Still impresses me how a big guy like Ivar can do a handspring elbow like that.
It is. It's amazing. Just imagine if a guy like a Vader or a Bam Bam could have done that.
Well, I bet you Bam Bam could easily have done that. Vader maybe, but Bam Bam for sure could have tried it. Oh, geez. So the New Day and Finn Balor are down, and Carlito's out now. But
beautiful sell job there by Eric.
Beautiful sell job from JD off of that jawbreaker. I like the fact that he still grabbed his head after delivering it. Oh, Penta.
Makes sense, too, after last week.
I mean, yeah, he did help JD returned to help the Judgment Day.
Yeah, and help Dom specifically defeat Penta in the Intercontinental Championship match last Monday night.
Yep.
So, fantastic match for both of these teams. JD doesn't look like he's lost a step.
No, but I like the fact that this match has basically played out two different angles. So now we've got obviously the War Raiders going after the New Day for the tag team titles. We've also got Penta looking to get some revenge on JD and possibly Finn Balor.
Yep.
So it looks to me like we're going to get to maybe we're going to see Penta go through Finn, JD, Carlito to get to Dom to get that Intercontinental title match. Oh, Paul Heyman, you little shirt disturber. What a way to sweeten the pot a little bit there.
Right? What a very, very interesting and cryptic promo. And then the end with Braun Breaker at the door.
Not really cryptic, but I mean, he was pretty forward in saying that, hey, if you go to SmackDown, you're going to get a title shot against Randy Orton or John Cena.
But then saying you can live in the future or you can die with the past. That's where I'm going with the cryptic.
Mm-hmm. Got some combo tickets on sale right now for anybody in Paris for the Clash in Paris event. And the Raw the night after. Still weirds me out that we're getting a pay-per-view on a Sunday.
Right?
But this year.
But the nice thing is, I'm off on Sundays. which means I can be available for a PLE patrol that day if necessary.
I still can't make any word on that one because
Nope.
I don't know what my schedule is.
Right?
But as right now, we're seeing on our screen here, we've got a promo package regarding the relationship between Becky and Lyra that happened over 24 hours, where they won the tag titles only to lose them the following night.
Right. And as I stated on the locker room breakdown, I don't think this match may have so much to do with the Women's Intercontinental Championship as it does Becky and Lyra's history from NXT. But this match, what a showcase for all the women involved. Again, just showcasing the depth of the WWE Women's Division as to how fantastic this match truly was.
Yeah, and I'm gonna disagree with you on this one and say that it is Becky wanting a shot at the Intercontinental title.
I don't doubt that there's going to be a title match.
Yeah, because as you know, under her big time Beck's nickname, she wants it all.
She does.
Why not go after one title she has not won yet?
I think this has to do more with their Irish heritage, their Irish background, and that history from NXT. And yes, the Intercontinental title will come into play because it was Becky who was the NXT champion whom Lyra defeated to win the title.
I also believe it was Becky who took out Bayley.
Very well could have been.
As right now we've got ESPN MLB insider Jeff Powelson at ringside. I've seen a few of his videos talking about sport of baseball, of course. Ryan Blaney, Full Speed, new season May 7th on Netflix. Ryan Blaney is, of course, a NASCAR driver as well.
Oh, okay. I did not know that. All right. As we get Becky Lynch, the man, making her way to the ring.
Not gonna lie, I kind of like her. I like her shirt.
Right?
Lyra's like, enough of this. I'm going to beat the shit out of you.
Yes. Wow. We saw the swag and the confidence in Maxine Dupree's promo last week. This has to be the greatest promo I've ever heard from Lyra.
Yeah, because I'll be the first to admit, I personally think Lyra's not the greatest at promos.
No.
But there was a bit of spunk. There was a bit of fire in her promo there.
Yep. And you know what? I mean, it went back to their Irish heritage. It went back to NXT, and it's about the Women's Intercontinental Championship. So we got all three things rolled into one.
Yeah, so and it was also the fact that there was the jealousy with Bayley's relationship with Lyra.
Yep.
And as I called it, as we're seeing Becky continue attacking Lyra from behind after Becky made the escape, it was Becky who attacked Bayley. Now I get it. Now I get this feeling that once the Lyra Becky stuff is done, now we've got something for Bayley to come back to.
Yep.
Nick Aldis with Penta right now. That's a fire match that Nick Aldis just made.
And we get the first reference to Penta and Phoenix being brothers in the WWE.
I'm going to correct you on that one because they actually mentioned that at WrestleMania. And then they mentioned it on the Raw afterwards. But we're getting JD and Penta next week. That is just...
Right? Wow.
As right now, we are fading to commercial. And Ivy Nile is making her presence to the way to the ring.
Chad Gable still going to ringside despite that kick in the chest from Penta.
I like the fact that he's selling it. I mean, he took the kick like 2 minutes ago, so...
Chad Gable not in his usual business style attire, but jeans and a t-shirt.
Okay. I was going to turn it up and listen to the Chad Gable promo, but all he's really doing is just keeping the crowd hype. But as I'm looking at the numbers rolling in for our Canadian election, the Liberal Party is currently in the lead.
And Pat McAfee buying into Bubba Duke's theory that Chad Gable is not El Grande Americano.
All we got to do is just get a mask versus mask match going.
Right?
Oh, now we're getting a promo package for Rusev, and obviously showing the destruction the man has caused in his previous run with the WWE.
Yep. I wondered if what we were going to get from Rusev tonight.
Hey, if he's not on the show tonight, a video package is good enough for me, you know? Because it serves as a reminder that he's still there, that he's going, and that he's just gonna, the next time he's on our screen, we're gonna see an ass kicking. Now, here's something that I wouldn't mind seeing. Him and Braun Breaker colliding.
So very much trying to add a new aspect to his Redeemer gimmick. Sort of a cross between a Barry Windham when he was the Stalker.
Yeah, but he sucked as the Stalker. Sorry, Barry, but I love you, but that gimmick sucked.
And maybe a little more, I don't know, there were some Bray Wyatt style vibes when he said, "I will hunt you, my brothers, and I will fix you like I fixed myself."
So I was thinking about, I've been thinking all week about this actually, but I'd like to see your opinion on this one before I reveal mine. But where do you see Rusev going? Like, which championship would you like to see him go after first?
I think if you're going to start him with anything first, I think you do the Intercontinental title. Now, and again, we don't know because there is still the draft coming up, so we don't know if Rusev is going to be on Raw or moving to SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
I think if it's SmackDown, I think you have to get that rematch for the title with John Cena. Because he's been the U.S. champ before, and I know this is a new version of Rusev that we're getting.
Mm-hmm.
So I would be okay with it, but I think start him off at the mid-card and let him work his way up.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, and I immediately went to the U.S. title, and I was basing that on if, let's just say, Rusev doesn't get traded, doesn't get moved to SmackDown, but the U.S. title gets moved over to Raw.
Right.
But then I'm like, well, wait a minute. He was way better off as a heel with the U.S. title.
Yeah.
So I think I'd be okay with him going after the Intercontinental, because the way I see right now, the way that they're promoting Rusev, and we're seeing it right now with Stephanie Vancouver as well, he needs to reestablish himself, because I'm certain that there may be a few fans out there that might have forgotten who he is.
Right. Now, I know I already made my bold prediction on Friday when I called Aleister Black to win Money in the Bank, and I am sticking with that. Early prediction, and I am going to go early prediction, barring injury, Rusev to win the Rumble next year.
My prediction for Money in the Bank is L.A. Knight. Yeah. Right now, he's the most viable contender for that title. For that,
Yes.
Well, you can say a title, because Money in the Bank is a title that you're given.
Yep. But he was also the most viable 2 years ago when Damian Priest won it over him.
Yeah, and we were cool with Damian Priest taking it too, and he was also a viable contender last year. Just goes to show you, WWE, that we'd like to see this man in our main event.
Yes, we would. Now, given their history, could we see John Cena be the guy to put LA Knight over and give him his first run as the champion?
Yes. I would be okay with that. And here's how I would have LA Knight do it. I would actually have LA Knight book it and ask for the match straight up. Like, I'm cashing in my Money in the Bank. Let's do this. We'll say it's for November, right? We'll say I'm cashing in my Money in the Bank. Let's do this match at Survivor Series.
Right. See, and I was going to go, because I like the timeline.
I was just using Survivor Series as an
Right.
example.
Right. And like I said, I like the timeline. But what about what is likely going to be John Cena's last ever match, December 27th in Boston?
That stalling suplex of Ivy Niles, it definitely rivals the way the British Bulldog used to do it.
Yep.
That was one thing I remember. going a little bit in history here with the British Bulldog at WrestleMania 7. He had a match against the Warlord. And my thought wasn't, could British Bulldog get him up and over for the running power slam? Because I've seen him do that to bigger guys than Warlord. My thought was, would he be able to get him up and hold him up there for the stalling suplex? He didn't even attempt it in that match.
Well, as we are watching this fantastic match, I do have an update as the Florida Panthers have just tied their game with 3 minutes and 47 seconds to go in the third. It is 2-2. But back to the action at hand.
Yeah, back to this fantastic...
What a DDT there from Stephanie.
I was going to say, what a roll up there. I kind of like the way that was executed.
There was the DDT, and then it was what I initially thought was sort of a no sell from Ivy, but the way they rolled into that was beautiful.
And once again, back to the head smashing on the canvas there.
Yes.
This is about the third time I've seen her. That's about the third time I've seen her do it in this match.
I know she attempted it once or twice, and I know the first one at least missed.
Well, I think Chad Gable is going to be wanting to do some running here shortly. Or that Stephanie McCool should just watch her back.
Right?
It's interesting to note that the Creed brothers aren't even out there to cheer on Ivy.
Right? Yes, it is. And once again, WWE, thank you for showcasing the women's division.
Yeah, strong focus on the women's division tonight, too, especially with this match. Then we had the Becky Lyra situation. We also had Rhea and Roxanne earlier tonight.
Yep.
The thing is, we still got about pretty close to an hour left in the show.
Yes, we do. And we don't even know what our main event is going to be. Unless we're, of course, getting Sammy and Bron.
Well, yeah. Well, it's going to be Sammy's decision. That's going to be what ends the show.
Right.
The one thing I'm looking forward to is what I think is going to be coming up next, and that's Pat McAfee's response to what Gunther did to him.
Oh,
Now we all know Gunther has been suspended.
Yes. He was fined an undisclosed amount and suspended indefinitely.
But does that mean that Gunther still shows up?
Right.
Stephanie Vacour just stole the win there.
She did, and I mean, fantastic finish. As we watch these replays and Stephanie makes her exit, I am going to take a moment myself and go check out the locker room.
All right, so while OMD does that, guys, I'm no Chris Parrish at the ad reads here, but if you want a version of your own locker room visit shirt, all you got to do is just go to carlcarafel.redbubble.com. As soon as I can get you that link here. Where is it? There it is. carlcarafel.redbubble.com will get you the locker room visit shirt, plus many of our other shirts here. Yeah, like I said, I'm not the best at the ad reads, but right now we've got Nick Aldis talking to AJ Styles, Dominic Mysterio, and the women's tag team champions. Yeah, now we're taking a look at what happened earlier between Becky and Lyra, as it's now official. Becky and Lyra will fight for the Women's Intercontinental title at Backlash. But yeah, OMD, welcome back. Not sure if you heard, but AJ Styles has an idea for Dominic.
I did. I saw that as I was heading to the locker room, and I did see the made official of Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch for Backlash.
Okay, so you missed when Sami Zayn was sitting in the back and then Karrion Kross came up to him and said, "You got a big decision to make. I hope you made the correct one."
I heard it,
Mhm.
didn't see it.
And Kaiser doing a little bit of self-promotion from what I'm hearing right now in the promo. But as we're coming back to commercial, I've got to step away for just a few minutes. And no, this isn't Tinkle Towers visit. I got to go take care of something real quick.
Not a problem. Ladies and gentlemen, we are looking at the Intuit Dome, which was the home of the Netflix debut for Raw and will be the home of Money in the Bank. And right now, we are getting the recap, I guess, of what happened, or going to get the recap of what happened last week with Pat McAfee, Michael Cole, and Gunther. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are watching. This is Gunther choking Pat McAfee out, and now we are going to
I sometimes forget just how good Pat McAfee is at promos.
Wow.
I love
Wow.
Pat McAfee and his promos, man.
Right?
Like I said, I completely forgot just how good he is at cutting promos.
Right? And now we are going to get Pat McAfee back in the ring against Gunther at Backlash.
Sign me up.
Yes.
Here's the thing I think about with that match too. What if it ends up kind of like being like how Taz and Jerry Lawler at SummerSlam 2000 ends up being,
Yeah.
where that match ended with Taz having had the Taz mission locked on the King, but JR showed up, interfered, smashed Taz's head with the candy jar he used to always have at ringside with him.
Right.
To which Jerry took the win. Now I'm thinking, what if Michael Cole interferes and helps and costs Gunther the match?
That would be interesting. I could see Michael Cole serving as ringside manager if you're going to go with Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett for commentary for that match, or to round out the show, because that's going to have to be probably your second last match for John Cena and Randy Orton in the main event.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, the Taz Jerry Lawler match was like the third match on the card. All King did was go back and sit in the commentary booth and kept commentating, because it was just Jerry. It was just JR commentating that whole match.
Right. And I mean, we could see that, but I also would not expect to see Pat McAfee back at ringside commentating after a match with Gunther.
Mm-hmm. As we're seeing right now, Backlash, Randy Orton, John Cena for the Undisputed Championship. I bet it's Jay. Oh, it is Jay.
What a shot from Logan Paul. But we saw Sammy say, "That's what I needed to hear," and then he got up and looked like he was going to the ring.
As right now we're showing what happened earlier with Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, and Roxanne Perez and Julia. Oh, that's why, because we've got an interview with Io Sky.
As you said earlier, a very uneasy alliance between Rhea and Io.
Yeah, with Rhea coming up and saying, "Hey, Io, I didn't need your help," but then Io said, "It looked like you did."
Yep.
To which Rhea had just kind of looked her in the eye and then left.
Said we're even then.
Yeah, but I don't think they are.
No, I don't either.
I get a feeling next week Io's going to have a match. I'm going to put it out there and say it's going to be against Julia.
Yep.
And then Roxanne comes out to make the save, only for Rhea to come out and help Io out.
Yeah, and then we're going to get the tag match at Backlash. Or do we get a fatal 4-way that's going to actually be a 2-on-1-on-1? Interesting that Seth Rollins is coming out here now on his own without Paul Heyman, without Bron Breakker. For this segment.
As we're coming back to a shot of MetLife Stadium, the host city, the host arena, the host stadium, I should say, for SummerSlam, night 1 and night 2 this year.
Yes. And I'm going to say this, the only drawback to SummerSlam already this year is its host.
I'm just going to play it by ear because I think that she's actually a great choice given that how popular she is and how many other extra eyes she could draw to the product. That, of course, is our Rusev and Otis next Monday. Jesus.
Right?
Given that she's got that star power, and of course I'm talking about the host, Cardi B, she's got that star power to bring those extra eyes to the product. So I will give her credit on that. All right, let's see what Seth has to say. I just kind of realized what Seth's outfit makes me think of. And it's only because I've been playing the game a lot recently.
Okay.
It looks like he's wearing a robe from Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah. I was going to say also somewhat, for me, it reminds me more so of the embassy robe from the old school Ring of Honor.
Yeah. The embassy, that was Prince Nana, right? Was like the manager of that group or something? Or am I confusing things?
No, that was Prince Nana, Jimmy Rave.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to remember the other guys who have come and gone through it.
Pretty sure, I feel like Punishment Martinez, Damian Priest was a part of it at some point. I feel like there was a relationship between him and Prince Nana at some point. kind of figured we were going to get this out of Sammy. Yep. Kind of expected Sammy to say that. He just told Seth to go to hell. He's not stepping away. He's not going to SmackDown to easily get himself a championship match. He would much rather earn the championship match the way he always has been. But now.
Yep. But, I find it funny that, Seth brought up the fact that, you don't like Paul. But Sammy doesn't have an issue with Paul. They were together in the bloodline. It was Paul Heyman that helped Sami Zayn's team at War Games get CM Punk.
It was also Sami Zayn that spit out some truths earlier today.
He did.
In knowing that anybody that's been aligned with Paul Heyman, whether it was Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, or CM Punk, they always had some kind of backup.
Yep.
And it was because of Paul Heyman. And Sami Zayn definitely sees that. So Bron's in his gear. I'm guessing Bron is going to wrestle. There's a referee in the ring. Sammy's still there. So, I'm guessing Sammy and Bron are going to have a match.
Interesting.
Because you see Sammy lacing himself up.
Yep.
However, Sammy's not in his gear. Because now that I'm thinking more on it, the only man that Paul Heyman hasn't or had that Paul Heyman managed that didn't need any sort of backup was Brock Lesnar. But Brock Lesnar is his own backup.
Yep.
Because you could even say Curtis Axel, when he managed him, he had Ryback. Ryback also had Curtis Axel.
Yep. And for that very, very brief, 2-week stint, Cesaro didn't have any backup with Paul Heyman.
I'm sure Cesaro had some kind of a friend with him, though. Even CM Punk had the Shield, Roman Reigns, the Bloodline, and now Seth Rollins with Braun Breaker and whomever else may be joining this stable.
Yep. However, I would not be surprised if we potentially see Jimmy Uso if this match goes off the rails, which I fully expect it will.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think, because a lot of Sammy's allies are hurt right now, especially, I mean, Jey Uso got taken out by Logan Paul earlier. Kevin Owens is down with a neck, is gone for a year.
Yep.
Jimmy was taken out by Gunther a few weeks back. And Roman was taken out by Seth and
yeah, but let's not forget, Jimmy was there at WrestleMania and was there last week. So that's why I can see Jimmy potentially showing up if this goes off the rails.
yeah, but the thing we don't know about Jimmy is he even cleared to do anything?
Right.
By the way, the results for a federal election are in.
That's early.
Yeah, CTV News is declaring the Liberals to win. The numbers aren't fully in, but the Liberals have got a considerable lead right now.
Right.
They're just trying to go for the majority now, which
Right.
you need 172 seats in our government for that.
Yeah.
But anyways, I'm expecting these two gentlemen to put on one hell of a match, just as they did every time they wrestled last summer.
Yep.
I like how Seth is just just standing there, just stone faced, not even caring about what's happening to his now former friend.
Yep.
But you know, Sammy has every right to be annoyed, to be pissed off with Seth Rollins as well. Because
Yeah.
let's not forget who turned away the opportunity to wrestle in War Games last year, who also tried to convince Seth Rollins to join that match. Sami Zayn was one of the ones who tried to convince Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins was the one that said no to that match.
Oh, 100%.
And to be fair, had Seth Rollins said yes to that match, I don't think he would have the CM Punk problem he has now.
No. And we don't even know if Punk's here tonight. We don't know if Roman's here tonight. Now, we know that, and we've all sort of speculated that Roman and Punk have to form some sort of an uneasy alliance or an uneasy tag team to combat Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins.
And that's where I firmly think we're going.
But do Seth and Braun and Paul have somebody new picked out, ready to come and join, that would allow Sammy to bridge that uneasy alliance between Punk and Roman.
Well, the alliance between Punk and Roman has always been uneasy. I mean, even at War Games, there was a bit of uneasiness between the two gentlemen. And Sammy didn't broker that partnership. That was Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
Um,
but could Sammy bridge that?
I think he could. I also got to think about another man who's he made his return against Seth Rollins, so that heat is still a little bit there. But I wouldn't mind if let's say Cody Rhodes moves out of the title picture for the time being after Backlash.
Right.
I think I'd be okay with Cody and Punk and Roman all forming an alliance.
Yeah.
That almost sounds like the start of a War Games there, now that I'm thinking more about it.
Right, especially if you're looking at the draft. Because, I mean, we haven't, and I know it's only been a week, but we haven't seen or heard from Cody since WrestleMania.
And the reason I say Cody moving out of the title picture is because I don't think he's done going after the title.
No, he's not.
Randy's getting his title shot at Backlash, but I do feel like Cody gets the title shot after Backlash.
Well, see, and I'm going to go a little bit further down. I'm going to say SummerSlam.
Okay, why do we have the Fireflies?
I don't know. Or what about, could we get an uneasy alliance between a guy that has been in Sammy's ear for several months in Karrion Kross?
Now, see, that's where you would have to get AJ involved too, because he's also been in AJ's ear.
Yep.
That was a safer looking exploder suplex, Sammy. Sometimes he gets a little too close to the corner and it worries me.
Yep.
Oh, jeez. Jesus.
Wow.
Sami Zayn just got speared in half on that one.
Yes, he did.
How much do you want to bet that this new attitude of Braun Breaker as a heel is definitely Paul Heyman's doing?
Oh, 100% it is.
Because we've seen him as this heel all year long, but he was this cocky, the typical Steiner heel, you know?
Yeah.
The cocky, I'm going to beat your ass and back it up, which is Scott and Rick when they were both heels. But now we've got this new version of Braun that's just pure monster. And I think that's what we needed out of Braun. Seth is talking to Sammy like this is an I Quit match, and Sammy just told him to go to hell.
this new character of Seth Rollins is actually very much reminiscent of for me, the villain from Far Cry 5. He was known as the Father.
Yeah. Very demented individual. I couldn't wait to kill him when I got the opportunity to.
That opportunity didn't end up happening in Far Cry 5.
Oh. And the referee and Jamie Noble getting in the ring. Jamie, get the hell out of there.
Yes, please, Jamie.
Referee of the match had to be called off because, well, Sammy doesn't know the word quit.
Right?
Oh, that's why he wanted to get a little lick on his own. So maybe because the way they just took Sammy out, I don't think it's going to be a match at Backlash now.
No, I don't either. We just had Sammy out from the Elimination Chamber until last Monday, and now he's going to be out again.
Mm-hmm. And we fade to black with this alliance. I don't even know what to call their name yet.
Apparently, from what I saw, Adam Pearce is now calling them the Trio of Terror.
No, he's not. He actually said that in passing. Because he said, and I quote, this trio of terror or whatever you want to call them. Everybody took those words and ran with it. But as we are getting ready to call it a night on Monday Night Raw, and Netflix has called it a night, OMD, give us your thoughts on the show and your socials once I can find them.
This show was fantastic. It was brilliantly done. Maybe a little too promo heavy, but they all furthered what they needed to. And we once again got a brilliant showcase of the women's division. And we couldn't ask for more. The way these stories have unfolded, the way everything is going and building to Backlash, we could not ask for more. This was Very, very intriguing too with Nick Aldis running things tonight. We did not get a lot of his presence tonight. He was seen where he needed to be seen, but not as overwhelming as Adam Pearce is at times. And I'm good with that. As for you, ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking for me, you can find me at my Linktree, linktr.ee/OMD show.
And yeah. Oh, geez. I kind of agree with you. I mean, it was a promo-heavy show, but you know what? We needed those promos. We needed some answers coming out of last week's Raw, and we got those answers. I love that Becky gave us that answer right away on who attacked Bayley. That eliminates that whole mystery angle thing, but it now sets up Lyra and Becky, and now Becky and Bayley somewhere down the line. And Becky and Bayley, I believe, we haven't had them two feud on the main roster. We've had them have like matches, but not necessarily a full-on feud.
Becky feuded with Damage Control, not just Bayley.
That's exactly it. So it was never a one-on-one encounter between the two of them, and that's what I'm intrigued about.
Yeah.
I'm very intrigued with this Pat McAfee thing. That promo would just set me over the edge on him again.
Right.
I'm very curious to see how this match with Gunther goes. As you guys already heard, I drew comparisons to Jerry Lawler and the Taz match at SummerSlam 2000, which is now making me want to go back and watch that match again because it's actually one of my favorite matches from that night. On top of TLC 1, because TLC 1 was just awesome.
It's TLC.
Yeah. But this whole show was just, it kept me gripped. When I had to take off for that few minutes, I literally got up. When I shut my camera off, I got up and had my eye on my camera. And OMD, you've been in my apartment, so you know that my kitchen overlooks where my TV is.
Yeah.
So I can see everything. And the way I walked to my kitchen, I was backing up and watching everything. That's how hooked I was when I went to my kitchen to go take care of something. But if you guys want to find me, you can find me at my Linktree, linktr.ee/Chris_best83. Look for myself in OMD tomorrow night as we do Turnbuckle Talk. OMD. Oh, Turnbuckle Talk, 8:05 p.m. Eastern, by the way, guys.
Yes.
OMD. What are those famous words we like to go out on?
Ladies and gentlemen, the world is a scary place. Take care of each other. From all of us here at Turnbuckle Studios and the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program, to those of you out there wherever you are, good night, good luck. We out.